Defiant to the end, the Justice Department and the FBI reportedly are ignoring the president's order for the immediate, unredacted declassification of FISA documents and deep state text. The documents expected to be released and delivered to the White House counsel, we are now told, as early as next week, with redactions. Joining us tonight to assess, to analyze all of this, two of the, as I said earlier, finest legal minds in the country. Victoria Toensing, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General for the Criminal Division of the Justice Department, former federal prosecutor Joe diGenova. They're the founding partners of diGenova and Toensing law firm. Great to have you both here. Let me start with the reports that the FBI, Victoria, and the Justice Department have no intention of turning over to the president anything unredacted.
Well, we don't know that yet.
We don't know it, but that's what's being reported.
Well, Jay Sekulow says, I heard him being interviewed earlier today, and he said if Ray and Dan Coats and people have some problems with what we're going to want disclosed, then come over to the White House and let's have a discussion, and I'm sure the president will listen to whatever their concerns are. So there seems to be a process there that they should be taking care of, like maybe tonight, tomorrow morning.
Yeah, one would think. Joe, I mean, this sounds very amiable, amicable, except for one thing. This is a direct order from the President of the United States.
Yes. Well, I anticipate that the President will get what he wants, subject to the advice that he gets from some people around him like Jay Sekulow. There's no doubt about it that the President has the constitutional authority to order anything to be declassified. He, of course, like anybody else, is very responsible about protecting sources and methods, but we know already from the previously declassified documents from the FBI and the Department of Justice that the only thing that has been redacted is embarrassing information to the Bureau and the Department of Justice under the Obama administration. So it is likely that what Rosenstein and Wray are trying to do is to keep more embarrassing information out of the public domain, and they will not succeed.
Let me make a point, because a lot of these things that we've seen dribble out are these emails between the two lovers, right? Now, nothing in there could have been classified because you can't put classified information on text with your phone. So why, I don't know why Rosenstein has taken so long to get all of those emails, texts, love messages, whatever they are, out to the public.
By the way, I haven't read a single text out of the 50,000 or so that have been produced, at least for the OIG to this point. I haven't seen a single text between Lisa Page and Peter Strzok that even makes a reference to a love affair, to a dinner, to anything other than, frankly, direct subversion of the President of the United States and participation in a resistance to this president while he was campaigning as well. Have you seen such a text? Because I certainly haven't.
I didn't think about that, but you know, I would have been upset if Joe sends me an email and doesn't say love at the end. I'm a little upset.
I think what's clear is that people involved in the counterintelligence business lead strange private lives, but we do know that those have been kept from the public eye out of, quote, respect for the privacy of Strzok and Page. And let me just say this. I don't give a hoot about the privacy of Strzok and Page.
Well, I don't either. I don't either, Joe, but let me raise this for your consideration as we take a break. And that is the obvious explanation for the huge numbers of text, and we're talking tens of thousands of them, between these two, is that they were lovers. The problem is there's no evidence that they were lovers, and secondly, we're talking about 80 texts a day in which they conspire against the president and the president's presidential campaign.
Yes.
We'd like to consider even further where the Justice Department and the FBI right now are in light of this new letter from half of the Gang of Eight that seems to suggest that there is a conspiracy against the president to withhold sensitive information, quote unquote, from him, from his counselors and advisors.